Welcome to the first episode of Future Tech Talks, where we decode the future of tech with the minds who are building it. Today, our guest is someone who is not just riding the AI wave, he is building the surfboard. Joining us is Mr. Suraj Sharma. He is a founder and CEO of XO Corporation. It is a futuristic platform using agentic AI to simplify mainly business operations. So, without further ado, let's start our episode.
Hey, hi, Suraj.
Hello. Hey
Hi.
guys.
Hi.
Hello, are we audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. Uh, so how's it going, guys?
It's going good.
Yeah, all good, all good. The name of the first round is Origin Sparks. It is an introduction round. I'm directly jumping to the first question that if I ask you to explain the motto of EXO, I mean, if you had to explain EXO to your grandparents, how would you describe it?
Awesome. That's very interesting. So, in terms of explaining it to grandparents, the way I see it is the world is changing. Now I've seen like grandparents have started using Chat GPT or a little bit of stuff. So one simple way to tell them what we're doing is we're working on agent coordination. Now, what does that mean is we know that everyone is going to have an agent, which is somewhere going to be like a human, an assistant or some form of this. So best way to explain is that we are making an office where, as human world, that every human goes and works with other humans together in one place where they can be more productive. Same thing as EXO in simple terms, where EXO is an office where all these different agents in the future, like ChatGPT agent, Claude agent, all of them will come and work together and deliver you something. So one simple word, that's what EXO is.
You are from Microsoft, right? What I saw from LinkedIn. So, I mean, what inspires you to coming from a that kind of giant company? As a product-based company, it's a dream for most of the engineers or any other associates also. So, I just wanted to know that. I mean, what makes you this kind of shifting from that kind of organizations to build a startup? What motivates you? Those things.
So what motivates me? That's an excellent question. So I would say Microsoft is definitely, I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and they are, I feel, an excellent company to work at. I would always say that I learned a lot from them, and I think in some ways they are helping me grow as a leader, as an
Mm,
individual, and as even helping with a lot of other stuff. So I've always been very focused. So what I saw at Microsoft was the reason why I decided to make that change was when I was working with, there are different segments of problem that you want to work on, which is like 0 to 1, 1 to 100, 100 to 1000. So when you're working at big tech, you're contributing on 1 to 1000, which is a skill that a lot of people I possessed as an engineer, as a thing. But while working there, what I also realized that I have a knack for 0 to 1, where I want to start something from the beginning and create an impact at the root level, at the grassroots level where we're beginning. And that's was the biggest reason why I decided that okay, I might need to have to do a startup. So there
mm,
is nothing in the Microsoft space which really made me make the jump, or the company was not great, the culture was amazing. I would still say uh, best years of my life, so much learning, so much things. But at the same time, I was always driven with this idea that I wanted to start a problem at the beginning. And because I feel my skill sets are very good at that 0 to 1 level. And I was really good at 1 to 1000. But in my opinion, my area of success is always going to be 0 to 1. I want to start something at the beginning and take it and, just do that part.
mm,
And I've always had a dream of running a startup, something that was always
mm,
there. So, it was a matter of leap of faith that if I have to do it, I
mm,
cannot do it with my job. It has to be one.
mm, mm.
When you first pitched your idea to the investors or your first teammates, I mean, what did they say? What was their reaction?
So I actually pitched this idea a year ago in a very different form. Now it has evolved definitely into EXO and everything. To my co-founder itself, the first person that I actually pitched this idea more than a year ago, and he thought I was crazy. So you know, because it was like, if you think about it from past tense, it was like pitching. I'm pitching Uber in a world where people don't know smartphones. So it was like that, where the world is like, there are no smartphones, there are no agents, there are no this. What are you talking about? Multi agent collaboration, doing stuff, and all that stuff. But as the market progressed, as we saw rise of growth, we saw the early trajectory, people started to realize and understand what we're actually talking about. So there, the first time they were like, I don't know, this is too crazy, either too ambitious, or everyone thought like maybe a big company is going to do it. But we saw so many gaps, and we saw so many gaps that were there. So I'll tell you, even more than when I pitched it, why this idea began is, I think, critical to understand that part as well. So when I was working at Microsoft, right, for me, I make a code change into git push and I'm done. I never have to worry about how this code will go to customers, how this will code will go to PMs, or if there are any bugs, who is going to tell me. As an engineer in big tech, I'm always comfortable, enjoying sitting back and doing these things. But immediately, as when I started a startup, I saw that startups don't, this collaboration and coordination is a big problem in startups. For a startup engineer, just doing git push is not how you get your products to customer. There's an entire DevOps pipeline you need to manage. There is a lot of communications that need to be done. There's a lot of engineering systems that needs to be evolved. So that is where I saw the biggest gap, and that is where we started building. So every big company, like even TCS does it, they spend a lot of money on internal tooling, and as a startup, you don't have that opportunity to do so. So that is why we feel like our environments and our execution aspect is critical in that sense. And that is what gave rise to EXO. And that how are we improving productivity? How are we improving communications? And how are we doing this? And we saw that AI agents are perfect to do so. And slowly that's when people started using it. So dev shops started using it. So it's still a learning curve where people still don't understand it really well what we're trying to do, but we see that this is where the world is heading towards, and hopefully in the future it becomes much easier.
What I have come to know about EXO that EXO fuses automation with autonomy, right? So did that come from a personal work experience?
Yes, it's like I was saying, it's perfectly so. At Microsoft, my role was pretty spread out. So I started as a compiler engineer where I used to work on open source V8. I did Chromium contributions and all that stuff. Apart from that, what I was also doing was engineering systems. So the org I was talking about. So we worked on a lot of internal cloud automations, and we worked a lot of tools how to make our engineers more productive. So that was essentially my role for almost 3 years, where we worked with a lot of teams inside Office, Outlook, and Teams, and VS Code, TypeScript compilers. All these folks were our customers, where we made tool for them, we made tooling for them, productivity for them. So essentially, what I was doing for humans is what I realized now Exo is trying to do for AI. We saw that same problems of coordination and communications that humans face as development is what AIs are going to face as well. So that is how this idea evolved, that whatever personal experience I had can be incorporated into this this idea and this impact. So what we're doing for humans is now what we want to do for AI.
I just wanted to another thing, what is your futuristic vision for this company? I mean, you want to build some product more? What kind of products you are actually planning for 2030? And upcoming trends of AI agents, like everyone is telling about AI, but I think 90% of the people, they don't know about how to use the AI. AI tool using is totally different thing, but how to build a AI agent, how the AI agent will automate the task. Basically, AI is not automating the task. The agent part is basically automating the task, because they are actually reducing the like automatic related stuffs which we are doing day to day activities, like job monitoring is one kind of activity that reduced by the bot, so or AI agents you can say, like those kind of things. So what are the futuristic plan for your startup, along with the vision how the AI agents will occupy in the market, or what kind of jobs will stay after 2030? Entire thing, I mean, it's an entire scenario I wanted to know from your side.
Absolutely. So where we are projecting is, we don't see that human ingenious or human creativity is going to get replaced, because us as humans are way more powerful than current state of bots today.
Hmm.
Language models are prediction models, they are just predicting the next word. And as humans, it's very hard for us to comprehend today that our language is mathematics. So we don't understand this part. That's why we feel that this is a real person. But when it
Hmm.
comes to human creativity, we have been here for thousands of years, and humans always repurpose their creativity. Before computers, nobody software engineering was not even a thing. It's just in last 50 years we see that this has increased, and that's where we see. So we are in no way saying that our product is looking to replace humans, replace devs or anything. On the contrary, what we believe is like small set of people will be able to create a lot more impact, and small distributed teams are going to be the future. You would not need 1000 people org to go to a unicorn, and this is something the market has been validating, where we see
Hmm.
from 2000, if you pick like 2000, in the early 2000s, a unicorn minimum had like you know 10,000 or 5,000 employees. And now recently we saw a unicorn with like 12 employees. Then WhatsApp was there, and now Lovable is like the most recent unicorn we're seeing today, like
Hmm.
last week, which had like I think 12 or 13 employees if I'm not wrong. So we
Hmm.
are seeing that the team size is reducing, and smaller set of people with the help of AI are able to achieve a lot more. So we want to focus and leverage that people. Solopreneurs are going to be solo unicorns, AI co-founders, all of that. That is where our vision is heading. We are in no way looking to replace any jobs or companies' automated work or anything. On the contrary, we believe that all these solopreneurs and smaller people and distributions, especially the smaller companies and smaller founders, will be able to use our technology and compete with the big ones. And that is the vision we're building. That, like you exactly said, like today, AI is only going to give you information. But if you want AI to use your business processes, you want AI to generate your Stripe links, you want AI to do wallet transactions for you, then you need agents. You just don't need an AI. And those
Correct.
agents need an environment, because those
Hmm.
agents needs to know that what is the knowledge, what is the context, whom do I have to do, whom am I working for, and what are my features. So we believe that agent builders are building this feature part, but knowledge, context, information, and that collection is where we come in play, where that is where our office comes in play, that we mentioned. That as a user, all you have to do is like, okay, Stripe, go and make me an invoice for my client, and it's going to go and do that. And you don't have to worry about where that invoice is going to be hosted, how that code will be transferred, or whatever is going to happen, or how to call that agent or how to connect that agent. Because even connecting agents with MCPs and everything seems very simple for developers, but we've seen and we've done research where non-developers are still struggling, and we see that a much more seamless solution is going to be on the way, which is going to be us.
We are going to jump to our second round, that is intelligence engine. We are going to discuss some topic in a more detailed way. My first question is, what does agentic AI really means at EXO?
So agentic AI for us is more like, uh, you know, the word AI agents started with LLM tool calling, where if LLM that can call tool is called an AI agent, and then agentic AI started where AIs are going and being more productive on your behalf, and they're able to execute tasks and they're able to do those things. So for us, the way we see agentic AI and LLMs and all these things and how we're going to be very different is because we see that inference and knowledge, inference is one aspect of it, execution is the second. If Chat GPT and Claude and everyone today is in the race to make the best brain, that how do I make the best brain for something? If Claude is making the brain, GPT is making the brain, we are making the arms and legs. That's where we see our swarm to be more productive. So how we believe that once you have the right agent, that agent will still need to know that where do I send this code, where do I store this code, who do I store this code for, and how do I get it to the customer. So that is where we mean by arms and legs and the movement that we're doing. So if they're building the brain in the agentic AI, we're building the arms and legs. So for us, we see as agents as our customers. I know it's very hard for us to imagine, but we believe that our biggest customers are agents and agentic AI, because they will be the one using our environments. They will be the one using this. So we see agents as customers and someone that what we're building for the future. So currently the world has been built for humans, and everyone has built for perfect human experiences, perfect user things. But with the rise of AI agents, we're building for agents. We're building agentic experiences. We know that how two agents will collaborate is not the same how two humans talk. Two agents can be much more productive. So that's essentially what we're building. So in one line, we see agents as a customer rather than our competitor, and we want to build a layer on top of them.
Yeah. So how is your swarm mainly different from stacking LLM tools? I mean, if
Yes.
you can make it easy for common users.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So LLM tools are just providing the inference part. So, Open Router and all these protocols, Together AI and all of this, they give you an option that, okay, you can choose one of these tools, right? And these tools will perform certain actions. And certain actions, now, let's say if we just take the example of coding, right? If you were to code, now we have Claude Code, we have Copilot, we have Devin, we have so many Cursor, we have all these things. Now, if you're looking at as a coder like AI coder, they don't only need LLM as for inference. LLM is just the inference part of it. Once they do the inference, they need a place where they can write code. They need a place where they can ship code. They need a place where humans can review code. And that's where we're coming at different as a workspace, where we are saying that we are not making this brain. You can still choose your favorite LLM. You will still be using your favorite LLM. You will be still using your VS Code. You will use your Cursor. You will use your Windsurf. Whatever you're using, you'll continue to use that. But we are making it more streamlined for you to get to customers. We're making more streamlined so that today you want to bring Claude into it and you're not using Claude, you can very quickly experiment Claude on your same code base. So we are providing that infrastructure where LLMs can come and write code, edit code. So kind of think of it like a Google Drive, where human and AI, you know how we have Google Docs, where two people can seamlessly edit the docs. Same way we're making like a Google Doc like infrastructure where multiple AI agents can write code, communicate code along with humans. So that's how we're slightly different.
Suraj, I have to ask one thing that I think EXO integrates Slack, GitHub, Figma, Notion, right? So how does this manage the orchestration part among them?
Yes. So we've built our custom orchestration frameworks that we've been
Hmm,
working on. And
hmm,
the way the orchestration works is essentially obviously the first highest priority is to the human.
hmm,
If
hmm,
the user says, I want to do something on Slack, then that precedes everyone. So usually what happens is the human is the main orchestrator that decides where the action has needs to happen. Now,
hmm,
in terms of large scale orchestration, which we're talking about, where human doesn't know it wants to do the discovery, the way we feel that is going to scale is essentially that we have four different agents that will one will do the discovery, one will do the editing, and one will do this. But when we have to scale this part to a longer term, we need an org structure, which is similar to today in humans. And that is where we're betting heavily on crypto, where we
hmm,
see
hmm.
that this orchestration frameworks and all of this will be written by other partners, and those partners are going to give us more superior technology in terms of, okay, I've created a small org which has 5 agents in them. I just need to go and delegate it to one of the agents. So just to answer very seamlessly, what we're trying to do is like our idea of orchestration is going to go, we've integrated A2A frameworks, we've integrated a lot of the other frameworks, but more than frameworks, we see the problem in orchestration is going to be governance, because frameworks and technology can do the orchestration. But if you want to make a multi-agentic swarm where different people can come and connect their AIs, then we also have to find a way that how much we have to pay each other, how quickly can we pay each other, what will be the payment cycles, what will be the slashing cycles, what will be the SLAs. So the large sense of orchestration that we're seeing will actually come from crypto rails and staking protocols and governance protocols rather than a traditional Web2 world. So that is our very unique take on where we see AI is evolving and the AI market evolving in the whole space, where we see like crypto is going to play a very big role in it.
When you pitched any investor in future, earlier already you have uh, discussed with several investor. I think when you initially started EXO. So whenever you will pitch latter part, like in 2030, what was your uh, plan? How we will pitch for next level scale up? What the value addition you will actually pitch them?
So the value addition, what we're pitching to them is essentially going to be on growth and adoption. So right now we're
Mm,
still in the early stages. So we are actually
mm.
raising our seed round. So we'll start our raise pretty soon. The pre-seed was done by the founders. So we had already committed our pre-seed and we started doing and building. So before this,
How
we had
much is the pre-seed amount? I just wanted to know.
300K.
Okay.
$10,000. So yeah. So the pre-seed amount was already done by our founders, and we didn't want to go dilute our equity in the beginning. So for the seed round, how we're currently pitching is on growth metrics. Since we're still an early stage company, we've recently found our product market fit. with dev shops and GTMs. So that's why, now we're going and pitching it to them where we want more venture fund to go and scale our product. So the idea where we're pitching is one on adoption metrics, where how much users are, how many users we're able to attract, how many business we're able to attract. Other than that, our second metric that we're pitching to the investor is going to be on retention, where
Okay.
it's very easy to get users in today's world. You can do Quest, you can do token, you can do a lot of things
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
get those users. But it's very hard to keep them engaged on your platform.
Keep doing it. Yeah,
The
correct.
part is it's even harder to make them spend.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's where we've come up with a very good metric. So what we've seen from our current early results that we
Hmm.
have been pitching to enterprise. So the first 30 days they're free. Then the next 30 days they get to the $10 plan where they start using one
Okay.
of the tools. Then as they get
Hmm.
more and more comfortable, we've seen the spending goes from 10 to 50. So we want to go the same route where we're saying that at least for the first 1.5 year in the seed stage that we're looking at, we're not going to go and be like, oh, 100,000 users or 500,000 people and going and marketing at large scale. We're primarily going to go to businesses and going to show the investor that the money value proposition is going to come from how businesses started at $0 and now they're spending over $100 on our platform on a monthly basis.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that retention metric is where we're showing our biggest KPIs on, because we're really confident that this is a real world problem we've solved and there's a very strong utility of it. So we see our product closer to AWS's of the space, not
Hmm.
an entertainment GPT or that kind of stuff. So our marketing and our strategy and everything is going to be similar to AWS and all those players on a B2B space.
So, you are an experienced person, right? So, can you give us an example where exo swarms actually outperformed a human team?
Excellent question. So, like we're saying, so our goal is never to replace humans in any way because we feel that's not possible. Humans are a lot more than prediction models, and at least for the next 10 years, I don't think there's any replacement to the humans. Maybe repurposing, but not replacements. So in this case, what example we have been projecting and we have been showcasing in our case studies are essentially around increase of productivity of humans. So essentially, what we've done in the real world scenario was there was a very small dev shop of like 3 people that were working. So there was one BD, one PM, and one engineer. So this dev shop in the first 6 months, was only able to do a certain amount of business, and they were able to do an X amount of revenue, X amount of stuff. Now using our, then what we did is we onboarded them into an XO accelerated swarm. So post once they onboarded and once they were doing that post our incorporation, they were able to save, just in 6 months they were able to save more than $50,000 in development and operation costs. They were able to save, they were 3 times more efficient. They were able to outreach 500 proposals compared to the 100 proposals they were doing earlier. Since what we were showing is that coding is one aspect that we help in, but communication and collaboration is something which is very, very critical for SaaS founders and everyone. So they were able to reach 5 times more customer. They were able to produce a lot more. They were able to save close to $50,000 or even more. So, just in like less than 6 months of using our product. So that's where we see the value that 3 people team, previously unimaginable, was able to do, unrealistic gains. Another place where we were able to do an excellent work was around the time when there was an inquiry that had come to our specific engineers, and we were working with a very small freelancer, just one single freelancer. So previously, if you look at the Indian rates and the American rates for development are tenfold difference. So we serviced a client in Dubai where the entire team, everyone was based in America, and we were still able to beat prices that are offered by Indian companies. So you see, because of the reason that a $50 engineer was able to still outperform and do it cheaper, since of the productivity is so quick. Yes, that's where we saw the value was, because we realized that very small set of people, extremely motivated and hardworking, which we know our entire youth and our population is, can now outperform any big companies, any big corporations, or any big things. So in some ways, maybe PCS is something we might be competing with in the longer term. So if you were to look at it, so that is where we would want to say that in the longer term, where market share we would like to occupy. But obviously,
Hmm.
they're really huge in distribution. So
Hmm. Hmm. Another big question, that's a question from an engineer perspective actually. Earlier you worked Microsoft as an engineer.
Yes,
Only engineering part you are taking care. So currently you are a founder of a startup. So I think you are taking care of marketing, you are taking care of operations, you are taking care of product market fit as well as the product management. That is the most crucial part because Microsoft has several product managers, associate product managers. They have that. But as a person, you are handling all those things in a startup. So how much challenging is this? Because it's little bit different from the previous role also, which you performed actually.
precisely. That's an excellent question. So yes, it is very hard. First time founder is like a lot of learning. So every day is pretty much learning.
Mm,
There's a lot. I think the biggest uh, thing that I've learned is how to separate signal from noise. Because when you're at Microsoft, you only get signals since there's like a team that filter out
mm,
the noise. And the biggest thing that I had to learn was like, what is a signal and what's a noise? Because you get a lot of noises as a founder and a lot of things that you had to do. That was
mm,
a very key challenging part where I saw where there was a lot of learning that we had to do. Apart from
mm,
that, I
mm,
think I have an excellent team that I spent a lot of time. So lot of work which was mine, I have been able to delegate it to my team. So my team has been like an excellent my team is the reason basically I'm able to do whatever I'm able to do today. But
mm,
when it
mm,
comes to marketing, when it comes to sale, I'm still learning. And I obviously did the same mistake that every big tech engineer does when they start a startup. Is the first year I created a very nice product with every good feature, everything without validating PMFs.
mm,
And I
mm,
realized that even though I had an excellent product, which was a web rag, which was actually Perplexity competitor at that time, Perplexity
mm.
was not as big, and I was not familiar with them. So in 2023, when I was working on that, and in 2024, I created that web rag, and I was like, okay, now I have a product. And then I realized, like, I used to think like if you create really good products, you'll get users automatically, because that's the mindset every big tech engineer has.
Mm.
They don't really know, because at Microsoft, anything you push out has like 10,000
Mm,
views, 100,000 users, and you're like, yeah, getting users is easy. You just post.
mm.
Then once you
I
reach
think
that,
getting user is easy because of the brand value which Microsoft created for the long 30 years or 20 years. But for a startup, it's I mean the value creation is very difficult and trying to understand the product market fit from the customer perspective, it's a very challenging thing for a founder.
absolutely. So exactly. So that's the first 1 year, 1.5 year. I think that's what I focused and I learned a lot on. That's the mistakes I made, where I realized how important is marketing, how important is brand building, how important are those things. So those are the things when I first started off, I think I had no idea about, and I was completely shot in the dark. But I think as time progresses, it was based on founder learnings, then talking to other people, discussing with other people, that really helped me amend my skill. And I used to do consulting for a lot of founders, and I did a lot of tech products that I built for a lot of founders. That really helped in shaping that vision. But it's still a learning process. I would still say I'm still pretty early, pretty new founder, still learning everything, really looking to grow.
Learning, I think learning is the part of every founder. I mean, though it's, I mean, Bill Gates is still learning. So we can't say like that. Yeah,
It's
Prithendu, want to.
good to know.
Okay, so we are done with our second round. Now we will directly jump to our third round, that is rapid fire protocol. I mean, you will have two options. You have to choose one.
Oh, okay. Sure.
All
Okay.
right.
That sounds interesting. So definitely
Yeah, so what will you prefer? Debugging or designing?
debugging.
Copilot or ChatGPT?
Copilot,
Build fast or build right?
build fast.
Slack or Discord?
Slack.
Okay. Code it yourself or prompt it smarter?
A good one. I would say now I'm in prompted smarter, but if I had the time, I would definitely love to code it myself.
Okay. Stability or scalability?
Scalability.
Okay. Thank you very much. We are done here.
Just one thing, I'm just asking, like for prompting, I think you should have a good understanding of code, right?
Yeah,
Without understanding of the algorithm and code, you can't do the prompting also. I mean, it's my vision. I think you are also agree on that, right?
100%. 100%. So, when we were actually experimenting, we have like three other products that are live also, which, folks, I would
Hmm,
love for you to
hmm,
try it out. It's like
hmm,
Vibe Coder, DevOps Agent, and like MCP servers and all these things that we've already been working
hmm,
on.
hmm.
So, the first product that where we gave out a Vibe Coder, what I saw was like what learning I had was primarily I saw like uh, technical people and non-technical people see AI very differently. So when a software engineer or a technical person is prompting an AI, they don't want AI to do the thinking for them. They just want AI to execute what they're thinking. A,
Very
non-
true.
a non-technical founder, on the other hand, treats AI like a genie. That this makes my wish come true. So, they would go and be like, hey, make me a chatbot that does this. And versus
Hmm,
a technical person will be like, hey, let's go to
hmm.
Next.js, let's implement this feature, let's do this, let's do that. So I 100% agree that prompting is no replacement for your brain. It's just a way of explaining to AI. If you want the AIs to think for you, I think we're not there yet. Maybe in the future, we're hoping that's going to be there. So there's always, at least in the short term, there's always going to be a gap where really good people who know how to talk to AI, we call them AI whisperers, but like are, you know, gonna excel a lot in the short term.
Okay, one final question before wrapping up. So, you walked away from a $200,000 job from
Yes.
Microsoft. It really needs guts, and to build a startup, AI startup, that's actually huge. That's bold. So, what advice you want to give to early career professionals, or should I say students,
Mhm.
who actually dream of doing the same but fear of the uncertainty or the pressure of the startup journey?
Um, that's an excellent question. So, where I would say like pressure and fear is always going to be there. Now, I would say again, they say like you have to be a fanatic to be a founder. Where I would not say, I would say you can make really big impacts in big tech, small tech, any places. But if you are someone that is really looking on based on ownership culture, if you are someone that really relate to a problem and you feel like, you want to go and solve this problem, if your motivation is like, oh, I want to be a startup founder because I'm going to be very rich, I'll be honest that I was making a lot more money when I was working at Microsoft. So when working at big tech, working as a job, it might seem contrary, but startup founders, it's very hard to make money, at least for a really long time. So if money is your goal, I would say startup is not a right fit. Working at startups maybe, because there has been research where early employees of Facebook, Cursor, all of this are way richer than most startup founders ever will be. So I would say if you are looking, anyone as a young entrepreneur or young person is looking to delve into entrepreneurship, then they need a very high intrinsic motivation on why they want to do it. And it cannot be like, I want to earn money or I want to create an impact or I want to do this. You can create impact at big tech. You can create impact at companies you're working. You can create impact at a lot of places. But that inner desire that this is a problem that I feel that I can solve and no one else is right now looking at. And I want to drive the ownership and the culture around this problem. And I want to
Hmm.
make sure until you feel that stuff from within you, it's going to be very hard because I tell you, everyone, like you were also saying, you walked away from $200,000 job. It was very hard to explain it to my parents as well and everyone around me, where it didn't make sense to anyone, and everyone would just be like,
What are you doing? Are you crazy?
exactly.
Like that.
So it's like, everyone thinks you're insane and you're some weird insane until you make it, and then you're suddenly a genius. But until then, you have to live with the fact, you have to be okay with the fact that everyone is going to think that this person is just a fanatic or an insane
Hmm.
person,
Hmm.
and nobody will make sense of it. So you need a very strong intrinsic motivation that you relate to the problem, you are really working on it, and that's what it is. If it's just going to be money or fame or that part, startup is not the right place to do. I think there are much easier ways to do that. And startup is extremely difficult in that sense. Where, every day you just wake up with chaos. And yeah. you wake up with more chaos and make way less money. Trust me. Like, when you're working at a job, there is chaos. There's obviously going to be chaos
Mm.
everywhere, but you have stable income coming in and your rewards are.
Mm.
In startup, you have to pay money and then still go to and do more chaos.
So Suraj, currently you are in which city?
Right now, I'm in Mumbai. I'm actually visiting India, so I'm in Mumbai at the moment. But
But generally you are located in
New York,
which country and city? US, right?
yeah, yeah, New York,
New York. Okay.
yeah. Most of the
And
time,
your entire team is sitting there only, or you have any offices in India also?
we have a. I'm right now in my Mumbai office, so we have an office
Okay.
in Mumbai. Our New York office is remote, so we do our development and everything is in India because we see India as the biggest talent pool. I want to tap that market. I want to be with that, and I definitely believe in India. So my bets are always going to be on India because I always have this sad feeling that Indians rule tech, but India is really behind. And I just don't like that fact, even while working there. And I saw everyone around me is an Indian, but it's just that part was really sets with me. So our development team and our labs, our research labs for the development is primarily based in India, which is spread out throughout Mumbai and then remote regions. But our business development and client acquisition and everything is in New York. So that's where how our team is split.
Well, so at last, I just want to say one thing that till now we have done almost 5, 6 podcasts with various startup founders, and what you have told about the startup journey, everybody is saying the same. So I think that is really a thing. We should not ignore that, and everybody should learn from that.
Absolutely, we believe that where I there is some learning we've done. There's a lot of learning that we do from other people as well. So yeah, really love to hear more journeys and more podcasts. So would love to stay connected and see how we can help each other.
Okay, so we are done here. Suraj, thank you very much for your time. I
Thank you.
think you
Yeah,
liked it. If you can give us
yeah,
some feedback, it would be great.
absolutely. It's amazing. I really love the initiative. So you guys were pretty quick. It's we started talking. Now we've already done the podcast. I love that turnaround time. So I'm really excited about that. I love to do that. And plus, I was thinking we're gonna do a call for discussion, but I love the fact that we did for the podcast as well. So yeah, we didn't get a whole lot of time to prepare it, but I like talking in general about startup and the journey. So I wanted to keep it more natural, and I think
Yeah, definitely. If we want to do something, we should not wait for a longer time, That's what I
yeah,
believe.
100% agreed. That's why when you ask like build first or build perfect, build fast is what my approach is always going to be.
Okay, thank you very much. People who are watching this, please consider subscribing and please share this video with, especially with students, because they are going to learn a lot of things from this video, I guess. Thank you very
So,
much. Thank you for
thank
Thank
you.
you.
joining.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.